No surprises here. Oleksandr Usyk comprehensively outpoints Dereck Chisora over 12 rounds. Well, I say no surprises. I was a little taken aback by the fact that Dereck Chisora thinks he won the fight. And also the fact that there are a lot of fans out there, boxing fans, who thought that it was very close and also thought that Oleksandr Usyk didn't perform well. Usyk was never blasting people out at cruiserweight. Yeah, he stopped Tony Bellew, but most of his top-level fights at cruiserweight, he was going the distance. So why on earth people expect him to move up to heavyweight where he's giving away, in this case against Dereck Chisora, something like 30 pounds, and they think he's going to, or they expect him to start blasting people away? What performance do people expect from Usyk? Personally, I got exactly what I expected. I expected Dereck Chisora to come out aggressive early and try and put it on Usyk, and that's what he did. He came out swinging like a bat out of hell. He was like a bull in a china shop. There wasn't really much technique to what he was doing. It was wild swings all over the place and just using brute force. And Usyk was a little ruffled in the early going, but after 2 or 3 rounds, Chisora started slowing down because he couldn't keep up such a frenetic pace, particularly not at whatever he is, 250 something pounds. He couldn't keep that pace up for that long. He started slowing down and Usyk got into his boxing, sticking and moving, combinations, pivoting off on angles, keeping Dereck Chisora turning. And Chisora did land the occasional power shot, but the longer the fight went, the more sporadic Dereck Chisora's attacks became, and Usyk started getting into a boxing rhythm. And we've seen this many times with Usyk, where in the second half of the fight, he starts to pull away and actually get stronger in the second half of the fight. And he finishes the fight with loads of energy left in his legs, still bouncing around the ring. And that's what we saw here. Now, it was around maybe 7, 8, 9, those rounds, he started to hurt Dereck Chisora. There was one round in particular where he clearly hurt Dereck Chisora. Chisora backed up towards the ropes. And at that stage, it looked like Usyk might even get the stoppage because he was breaking Chisora down. He was hurting him. But as I say, the bell saved him. And in fact, the round where Chisora was on the brink of going down, that felt like a 2-minute round. I don't know whether it was, but the perception I had was that was a short round. I'll have to go back and watch it again and find out if it really was a short round or if it was just me getting caught up in the action and time going by very quickly. But either way, Usyk continued to box well. Dereck Chisora mounted somewhat of a late rally, but it was nowhere near enough. And the judges had it 115-113 twice and 117-112. I mean, 115-113, I was actually surprised it was that close for 2 of the judges, but it's not a scandal. 117-112, I think, would be more in line with my scorecard if I scored it, because I didn't score it round by round. I was just watching the fight and enjoying it at the time. So yeah, I got exactly what I expected from this fight. There was no surprises. The pattern of the fight is what I expected. And the result, of course, I picked Usyk to win a decision. But again, the reaction from a lot of fans out there saying Usyk wasn't impressive. He doesn't have a chance against any of the top heavyweights. He couldn't even deal with over-the-hill Dereck Chisora. I mean, I don't know what planet people are living on. Oleksandr Usyk is a boxer. He's a stick and move artist. Dereck Chisora was able to rough him up early on in the fight because Dereck Chisora went all out as a pressure fighter. He literally let it all hang out. Reckless abandon. The Anthony Joshuas, the Tyson Furies, and the Dylan Whites of the world are not going to do that. You do realize this, don't you? They're not going to just go flat out trying to attack Oleksandr Usyk. They're going to try and box with him a little bit. And Dereck Chisora coming forward is a more difficult target when he's rushing at you with his head down. He's a more difficult target than someone like an AJ or a Dylan White who stand up taller. Even a Tyson Fury to some extent. Okay, because of the fact that he's so tall, he can't get low the way Chisora got low and rush forward. And when a guy's got his hands up, it's difficult. And it can make you move more than you want to move. And it can make your work a little bit rushed. So understand that styles make fights. And this particular style, Dereck Chisora, was always going to result in that kind of fight with Oleksandr Usyk. What was he supposed to do? Knock Chisora out in 2 rounds? I'm just baffled at what people expect. Usyk is a stick and move merchant. For my money, he did much better against Dereck Chisora than Dillian Whyte did in both fights. Even though Dillian Whyte knocked Chisora out, he was behind in that rematch. Usyk was never behind in this fight. So for me, he outboxed Dereck Chisora comprehensively. And for me, the only person who did a better job in outboxing Chisora was Tyson Fury. And I would say Kubrat Pulev third. So Fury did the best job outboxing Chisora, then Usyk, then Kubrat Pulev, in that order. So yeah, I thought it was a good performance. He did get clipped a few times, but not too many times. There was a lot of shots that Dereck Chisora was winging over that people might have thought landed, but if you watch and I'm talking about landed on Usyk's face, but if you watch a lot of the slow motion replays back, a lot of them big swinging right hands from Chisora were landed on Usyk's chest, or sometimes on a glove or a shoulder. Now, I don't know what the Sky commentators were saying. Maybe that could have been influencing people's perceptions, because I didn't listen to the Sky commentary. Maybe that was influencing people's perceptions into thinking it was much closer than it actually was. But I assure you guys, if you watch it back in the cold light of day, Usyk clearly won that fight. And he actually boxed really well. Once Chisora started slowing down and Usyk was able to get into his rhythm, he was boxing really nicely, letting combinations off, nice footwork and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, again, against a guy like Chisora, who is swinging for the hills at every opportunity, who's rushing forward, you're going to catch the occasional shot. You're not going to be, especially if you're only 6'3", like Oleksandr Usyk. He's not a 6'7" Wilder or 6'8" Fury or 6'6" Josh. He's not that tall. So he's not going to be able to keep as much distance between himself and Chisora as Tyson Fury was. So you have to have realistic expectations. I didn't see anything in this fight which made me want to change my view on how well I think Usyk would do against the big heavyweights. I didn't see anything that remotely would make me change my view. I think that Usyk is going to give most, if not all, of the big heavyweights all types of problems. All types of problems. I'm not saying that he'll necessarily beat them all, but I think he can at least beat one of them, maybe 2 of them. So I think Usyk is a very dangerous man in the heavyweight division. I think the boxing fans, particularly the casuals, which constitute the majority, are far too wrapped up in punching power when it comes to heavyweights, blinded by power, and they don't realize that Usyk's movement, his stamina, go and have a look at most heavyweights, including Tyson Fury, in the 9th, 10th, 11th round of a fight. How many of them are moving the way Usyk is moving? Maybe Anthony Joshua very late on against Andy Ruiz in a rematch, but he still wasn't moving as gracefully as Usyk and being able to spin his opponent and all that kind of stuff. No one in the heavyweight division can move like this guy late on and be reeling off combinations on the move, and he's a southpaw. So I was impressed. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about Oleksandr Usyk's performance. What did you expect from him? This is what I really want to get to. Those of you who are disappointed with Usyk's performance, what on earth did you expect? I'm baffled. He wasn't a knockout artist at cruiserweight. So surely you didn't expect him to be a knockout artist at heavyweight. Chisora is a very tough man. He's a huge man compared to Usyk, 250 odd pounds. So, I don't know. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm out.